By name, Caiaphas. By fame, the high priest. For you see, as a high priest, and by the teachings of the Sadducees, we're rationalists. We can try to rationalize everything that is there. We kind of squeeze out everything until we have faith in whatever. But that's my background. We were not looking for the Messiah. We weren't even expecting anyone to be the Messiah. I mean, everyone had come up and said, oh, here's the Messiah, here's the Messiah, here's the Messiah. False messiahs. So we had to think, what was going on? Well, when this carpenter from Nazareth claimed to be the Messiah, I just laughed. I mean, here's just another one. Here's this guy, he's a carpenter, he says he's a Messiah. Well, that was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And in those 3 years, he became more popular, and more popular. And even my scouts said he was healing people in the name of the Lord. And I thought only God could do that. Healing the sick. Then they also said he was feeding 5,000, feeding bread and fish to thousands of people. Well, I said, I can rationalize that. I can see some reasoning behind those. First, maybe people weren't sick at all. Maybe they were just faking it. Maybe it was all for show. Hey, look at this guy. He healed this guy. Well, he really wasn't sick. And feeding of thousands with fish and loaves? I can reason that off too. That everyone saw how kind this young man was when he brought up his fish and his loaves of bread. That they too pulled out their lunches of fish and loaves of bread, because that was by the sea anyway, so that was the common meal, so everyone took theirs out. So you see, I can rationalize things. I can see how they're not really miracles. Except one that I could not rationalize. My scouts told me of this one miracle, that this man named Lazarus had died. And he had been in a tomb for 2+ days. And this Jesus of Nazareth, this carpenter came. He wept, my scouts tell me, but he also said, Lazarus, come out. And now, by this time, the body had been decaying and probably smelled. But my scout says that he came out of the tomb. He was alive. I couldn't rationalize this. I can't even believe in the resurrection, much less rationalize how was this possible that this man Lazarus was alive. I knew right then and there that either Jesus had to go or I did. Or maybe even the nation of Israel would go. He had to be put to death. That was the punishment. I called everyone together and we all agreed that had to happen. Oh, we tried. We tried to trick him in our old laws and stuff about paying taxes. Who do you pay taxes to? Every time we tried, he became more popular and we became less. Well, a week ago, when he triumphantly entered Jerusalem riding on a donkey, and everyone's yelling, Hosanna, Hosanna to the highest. I knew right then and there it had to be now. It had to be soon. But how? How? As if an oracle of God happened. One of his followers by the name of Judas came and said to me, if you want this man Jesus, I will betray him. I'll give him over to you. Now, I don't know if maybe they had bad words or whatever was going on with this follower. Maybe he just wanted the 30 pieces of silver for himself. It didn't matter to me. This was the way I could get this Jesus. So, he came. That was 4 nights ago. And he said, if you want this man Jesus, he and only his men, his 12 disciples, would be with him. And that they'd be in the Garden of Gethsemane. And we could get him. We could get him. So I sent my guards out with Judas. And they got him. And they got him. And within an hour, he came before me. He didn't look like anything special. He looked like an ordinary man. And a bunch of false witnesses would come and try to accuse him of stuff that really wasn't going to stick. And then 2 witnesses, as we know, have to have witnesses, came before me and him as he's standing in front of me. And they said that he could tear down the temple and build it in 3 days. That's when I stood up and I asked, don't you have anything to say about yourself or for yourself? I mean, by the living God, are you the Messiah or not? He looked me square in the face, as if he was looking through me. And he said, as you have said. As you have said. And I thought, oh, great. He just confessed. But then he goes on. He says, I tell you that you will see the Son of Man coming on the right hand of power and in the clouds of heaven. I don't know what that meant. But he had just confessed. Now I had the crime to meet the punishment of death. So I had to ask the assembly. Then I said, blasphemy. I tore my clothes and I said, this is what he's blasphemy. He's claiming to be God. And so I asked the assembly, the Sanhedrin, I said, what do we do with him? I knew the answer. I knew the answer. They all said, he must die. He must die. We had the crime. We had the punishment. But we knew that the Roman government wouldn't just put someone to death just for blasphemy. That was our part. But still, I said the Roman government, had to be the ones that put him to death. So, we sent him to Pilate. We changed the crime just a little bit. We said that he was trying to overthrow the Roman government and that he was claiming to be the King of Kings, the King of the Jews. That was enough. Pilate to Herod. Herod back to Pilate. 3 days ago, they crucified him. With two thieves. How appropriate, we thought. Yes, finally, we got rid of this radical Jesus. Finally. Finally. That was 3 days ago. Now the rumor is, as I said here, that the tomb is empty. That perhaps his disciples stole the body, or the soldiers. But it's empty. The rumor is that he has risen from the dead. We don't believe in the resurrection. But wait, he did raise Lazarus. Could he have raised himself? What did he say when he was standing in front of me? When I asked him, "Are you the Messiah?" And he said, "As you said." But then he said, "You will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and coming in the cloud." The right hand of power. What did the psalmist say long ago? The Lord said to my Lord, "Sit at my right hand." Could this Jesus of Nazareth really be the Messiah?